everybody, and welcome to the Age at Home in-service videos. Before we begin, please take a minute to clock in so you get paid for your time. You need to use the 888 number. Your app is not going to work in this situation. There are 3 videos that you're going to be viewing: infection control, fire and safety, and client rights. At the end of each of the videos, there are quizzes to be completed. And these quizzes can be found on your ERSP homepage under Documents Needing Attention. When you clock out, again using the 888 number, please leave us a message, a voice comment for the office, just letting us know that you have completed the videos and quizzes. That way we can make sure you get paid. If you have any questions, give us a call at the office. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So the first video that we're going to be talking about is infection control in the home care setting. If you're eating, you may want to put it away for just a little bit until afterwards, because we're going to talk about germs. Germs are everywhere. They are in the air we breathe, they are in the floor that we walk across, they are on our hands, on our skin, eyelashes, in our nose, in our mouth. They are everywhere, and the germs that are on our body are designed to be there. They're designed to keep out the bad germs. You have E. coli sitting in your intestines, and it's very happy, and it's doing a great job. It's when it travels outside of that area that we have a challenge. So the germs themselves are here and serving a purpose to keep out the really bad germs. These are some interesting fun facts for you. There are 200% more fecal bacteria found on cutting boards than toilet seats. Your TV remote controls are a leading carrier of bacteria. Germs from flushing the toilet can travel up to 6 feet. Handbags carry up to 10,000 bacteria per square inch, so keep them off the tables, please. 1 in 5 people don't wash their hands. And it wasn't until the late 80s, early 90s that routine glove use was even in place. For those of you who remember orientation fondly, I'm sure, I tell a story, or I tell about a survey that was done about 5 or 6 years ago at doctor's office, where they were trying to find the most germs and what were the service and what was the cause. So 3 guesses. Nope. 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 It was doctors' ties. If you think about the ties, we don't wash our ties. We dry clean them maybe once or twice a year. So if they're in seeing a baby and the baby coughs or sneezes or all over them, you can wash your hands all you want in that office. And then go into the other office where you are, wash their hands, but we all have a nervous tick. We touch our hair, we touch or adjust our tie, and then we go to reach for you, and that's how you get that as well. So there's no way to be perfectly clean, and in fact the pendulum swing. You can try to be too clean, but it's going to cause you to actually get sicker because your good bacteria will be killed along with your bad bacteria. So here we have this chain of events that have to occur in order for you to get me sick. 1, you have to be sick, which I hope you're not. 2 is the mode of transportation. That's your cough, your sneeze. It could be in the air, contact, bloodborne. Then you have to have a susceptible host. So that's somebody who hasn't slept well, is very stressed all the time, possibly isn't eating properly, has a compromised immune system, or already has had a cold. And then you need a mode of entry, which is your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, intact skin. Add to it a warm, moist, dark place, and poof, I have caught your cold. So in order to break this chain of events, we need to do just one major thing that will cut down the chances greatly, over 50%, and that is washing your hands. In addition, you need to keep yourself a priority. We are in and out. If you think about all the people that you see in a day, or even if you don't even see more than 1 client a day, that person most likely has a compromised immune system. So in order to take care of that person, you need to take care of yourself. Taking those few minutes just to make sure that you've washed your hands, that you have done whatever you need to break that chain of infection, keeps you safe, and it also keeps your clients safe. So, we're going to talk about standard precautions, which includes hand washing, protective equipment, assuming that everything around you is potentially infected so that you treat it the proper way. Hand washing 101. I have a nice short video for you to watch, and then we'll talk some more.
I'm covering my hands with a cream that glows under ultraviolet light. This represents the bacteria that is normally on your hands. If I then quickly wash my hands, and replace them back under the ultraviolet light, you can see where the cream remains in the creases of the skin and around the fingernails. By pressing fingertips on the agar plate, some of the bacteria on the hand are transferred onto the jelly. The agar plate is incubated overnight, and this is the result the next morning. Each little white dot is the result of one bacterial cell from the hand multiplying millions of times overnight. Your clothing, jewellery and watches carry bacteria, so they mustn't come into contact with patients. Before you clean your hands, roll up your sleeves, tuck in your tie if you have one, take off your wristwatch and any rings with stones or ridges on them. Only smooth wedding rings like this one are acceptable, but you still need to clean under and around them. To squirt some alcohol hand rub into the palm of one hand, rub the fingertips and the fingernails into it, spread it into the palm of the other hand and do the same with the fingertips and the fingernails. Make sure that all surfaces of the hands are covered, the outside of the thumbs, and keep rubbing until the alcohol hand rub has dried. The amount of rub that you use depends on the size of your hands and the brand of alcohol. Put the rub into the palm of one hand. As you spread it across the palm with your fingertips, you're starting to decontaminate both the palm and your fingertips. Pass some onto the other palm and spread it with the other fingertips. Now work on the back of both hands and in between your fingers. If you are wearing a wedding ring, make sure that you clean around and under the ring. The idea is to cover all the surfaces of both hands up to the wrists and keep rubbing until the alcohol dries. Wet your hands using warm but not hot water. Use about a teaspoon of soap, covering the palms, working in between the fingers. Again, on the backs of the hands, in between the fingers. Interlock the fingers so that the fingernails are cleaned. Cover the outside of the thumbs and up to the wrists. This should take about 15 seconds or 2 to 3 verses of Happy Birthday to You. Rinse well and dry the hands thoroughly. Turn off the taps either using the paper towel or your elbow. Avoid a common mistake. Make sure that you open the bin with your foot, not with your hands. It's important to wet your hands with comfortably warm water before you put the soap on. This stops the soap drying out your hands. Use about 1 teaspoon's worth of soap. Rub the palms together to make sure they're completely covered with soap up to the wrists. Then rub between the fingers. Now use your palms on the backs of the hands and again between the fingers. Next, to clean the fingertips and nails, interlock the fingers and ripple them like this, and rotate them against each other. Finally, rub around the outside of each thumb. The whole process should take about 15 seconds. Rinse off all the soap with water and dry your hands carefully with a paper towel. Dry the palms and backs of your hands to help remove any remaining bacteria. Work the towel between the fingers and underneath and around your nails. Use the towel or your elbow to turn off the tap. Open the pedal bin with your foot to dispose of the towel.
Okay, that's an excellent video. I love it. There's just two things that she does that kind of bother me a little bit. The one is when she's drying her hands, she's using a very aggressive rub, which, as you know, when you're dealing with people who are older, the skin starts to thin and dry, so it's always better to pat than to rub viciously in that manner, because that will actually increase your hands drying. Because of the fact that we wash our hands so often, you also want to make sure that you have hand moisturizer around with you so that you can make sure that you don't get any cuts, because cuts around the cuticles are going to be a leading cause of an infection getting in. The other thing she did is the flick, because if you can remember, going back to our statistics, air molecules and germs going up into the air can last for a very long time. So when you're flicking your fingers, you're actually flicking out any soap that might have some germs in it up into the air. Otherwise, great video. So go ahead and pause this video here and go wash your hands. If you have any trouble, let me know, but give it a try. Welcome back. So now we're going to talk about PPE, which is personal protective equipment. The picture that you see here with the person with the glove, the gown, everything, that is not us. We are non-medical. We go in, we have gloves, and possibly a mask. The mask would be if you have a cough, if you feel like you're still coming off of a cold. We have them here at the office so that you can ask us for it. It's also a good idea just to let us know so that we can make sure that the family's okay with you going into work with your cough or your cold. If a client is sick, they may want to wear a mask themselves as well. Gloves are extremely important. All the families have been advised by us when we go out and do the initial assessment that they need to have gloves, medium, latex-free gloves in the house for us. If you require smalls or large, please let the office know, because we'll supply those for you. But if you notice that you're getting low on your gloves in the house, please add it to the client's grocery list. The other thing that we ask them to have is paper towels as well. Gloves, you ask. How do I put on? Donning and doffing your gloves. We have a short video here for you to watch about the correct way to doff and don your gloves. This is not the only way, but it is a good video, and we can discuss it after.
Who doesn't know how to remove gloves, right? But can you do it without touching the outside of the gloves? Gloves are a physical barrier between you and the substances you're working with. But what good are they if you contaminate yourself while removing them? Try one of these methods to remove those dirty gloves. The fold and tuck. Grab one glove on the palm side and fold over your fingers. Carefully pull the glove off and ball it up with your still gloved hand. Tuck a finger under the other glove and slowly peel your hand away. Or try the double fold. Start the same way as the fold and tuck. But this time, keep the first glove around your fingers and use it to grab and fold the second glove and pull. Alright, you got the gloves off, but now what? Throw them away appropriately. Don't even think about reusing disposable gloves. And wash your hands thoroughly, between your fingers, under your nails, and all that good stuff. Now, let's rewind. The gloves did their job. Now do yours. Remove those gloves slowly and carefully to keep that physical barrier working for you. For that healthy, safe feeling. Eat.
Okay, so those are interesting ways to do it. There's one other way that is my feeling very, very effective, and so I'm going to show you now. And that is to grab down below and pull. I love the idea of putting it into the other hand because otherwise you might drop it, you might hurt, touch it or anything else. When you tilt back your wrist, you get a opening here behind. So you want to get either your index finger or your middle finger, but not your thumb, because if you do your thumb, you're going to pinch it and then you're defeating the purpose. So index finger behind, pull it down, voila, throw it away. Thank you. Okay, so what are some signs of an infection? We all think of ourselves as superheroes, right? You have a pain, you feel your nose is stuffed, must be allergies. We all pop aspirin and think we will go on because we are superhuman and no one can do it as well as we can do it, and my person will not be able to do anything if I am not there. But that's actually the worst thing you can do for that person. So, signs of infections: chills, fever, red, pain, fatigue, pus and oozing. That's a big one, you really can't miss that one. As far as taking care of yourself, because you are the person that somebody is relying on. Even if it's your family, even if it's yourself, there are so many people, you want to make sure that you take that little extra time and that you do some self-care. Make sure that you're eating right, stay hydrated. There's some great signs for dehydration that we're watching for our clients, but watch for yourself as well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise. Manage your stress. Know that we all have limitations and it's okay. Work on having a healthy work and home life balance. Know when to ask for assistance. And do activities that aren't work related that bring you joy. A lot of you always say to us, I love what I do and it brings me joy, but I'm sure there are other things that bring you joy as well, so find them and do them. Have a positive support network of people. This is again that bank account that I've talked about that you have with different people in your life. Just like a bank account where you have to make deposits so that when you make a withdrawal you have enough money, otherwise account closed, the same thing works with the people around you in relationships. You have to make deposits. Thank yous, pleases, smiles can even be deposits, because we all have that bad day where we're going to make a withdrawal. And when you make a withdrawal and there's not enough deposits, your relationship closes as well. So when I say have a positive support network of people, this is trying to avoid the people or having too many people in your life that when you see their number pop up on your cell phone, you automatically feel drained and exhausted and hit the no, do not answer button. That better not be me, by the way. Make sure that you seek medical and dental attention and that you make yourself a priority, because you cannot provide from an empty well. As far as the rules that Agent Home has in place, you are not allowed to come to work if you are ill or return to work until you are fever-free for 24 hours. Okay, we all know that in 9 out of 10 times you did not get sick a half an hour before your shift began. What we ask is that you let us know when you are not feeling well. Even if you think you can make your shift, give us that deposit so that we can make sure that somebody is in place to be able to take that shift just in case, and that the family's aware that maybe you're not feeling well because they may decide not to have you come in that day as well. That's a huge deposit all the way around. Even if you end up going into work, everybody is prepared for what could potentially happen. If you have fluids coming out of any orifice of your body, you cannot come to work within 24 hours. If you have any cuts, make sure you put a bandage on them before you come in. If they get dirty or wet throughout the day, replace them. Cough and sneeze into your elbow, washing your hands in soap with water as soon as you enter the client's house, and basically all the time. After you sneeze, after you cough, if you use the bathroom, if you touch your hair, blowing your nose, you want to make sure that you are constantly washing your hands. So again, the moisturizer. When you go to leave the client's house, you want to wash your hands one more time, or hand sanitizer in the car. The hand sanitizer is only good if your hands are not visibly dirty, and it does not work at all on C. diff. Only hand washing does. And since we're treating everything as if it's potentially infected, wash your hands. Okay. You are your greatest asset to your health, and with a little common sense, we can all stay healthy. So let's look at some of the areas that infection control and taking the time and precaution can make a difference. Food safety and storage. Prior to handling any kind of food, you should be washing your hands. If you're going to be touching raw meats, take the time to put some gloves on. Disinfect the areas that have been touched by raw meat. And check the expiration dates. If something looks like it has expired or may not look good, don't just toss it, consult the client, because clients do get upset about that. Even if their tuna fish expired in 1964, you want to make sure that they are aware of it beforehand and let us know. Keep the pots and pans with boiling liquids towards the back of the stove so that there's no accidents. Double check the temperature prior to serving any clients that are confused. You don't want to give somebody with dementia hot soup because they may not know to take their time with that. Be aware of any chewing or swallowing issues with the client, and ask them first, but go ahead and you can offer to cut pieces into smaller pieces, or do it before you serve on that. If you have any questions with any of these things, you want to make sure that you give us a call. In addition, if you're making food for anybody, make sure you label it when you put it into the refrigerator with what it is and the date that you made it, so that the next person coming in is aware of what's in there and doesn't just throw it away because they don't know how long it's been there. Infectious waste. So for most of the case, because we are non-medical, you're not dealing an awful lot with infectious waste, but people do get cuts, people get nosebleeds, people get sick and throw up. Unfortunately, it's part of life. So you may find yourself in a situation where you are cleaning up an infectious waste. In that case, do the double glove, double bag method, which means 2 gloves on, 2 bags in the trash. Into that first, or the 2 bags is going to go whatever it is you're cleaning up. You want to try and wipe it up as best you can using any cleaners that are available, and then you take off your first layer of gloves, tie that bag up. Clean the area one more time, throw that into the top of that, last gloves off, tie it all up, and then throw it away outside. If you leave it in the trash, somebody else coming along might go to push the trash down further or anything else, but they may touch it, and we really don't want that as well. And then wash your hands. When you're cleaning a commode or a urinal, follow what the client wants. Some people are still using bleach. I highly suggest that we do not. However, it is up to the client. We're not bringing our own bleach though. Vinegar works really, really well. If you have any questions about it, please call the office. When you're changing a bed, just remember that everything, if you've ever watched CSI and you've seen the black light going over the sheets, okay. Minute blood particles, minute fecal particles are on the sheets, and you will not see them with your naked eye. And you do not want the black light, believe me. So just treat it as if it's potentially infectious. What you don't want to do when you're taking the laundry out is holding it against you as you're walking to the laundry. You want to either put it into have gloves on, put it into a laundry basket, or if there isn't a laundry basket available, get a clean towel, put it into the clean towel, and hold it that way. You always want to wear gloves when you're handling soiled linens. And there are times when you really should not be washing towels and clothing at the same time. Some clients have a very specific way they want things done, so follow what they want, but if you're left to your own devices, they should be washed separately. Trash. Always use a liner. Please check the garbages before you leave any house that you're at, especially if your client uses Depends. Again, you don't have to be doing personal care. If you know that they're using Depends and Depends sit in into the trash, it does develop an odor. So take that out for that person. Pet care. Ooh, the litter box. Anytime you're cleaning up anything with pets, I usually talk about, and I have pets myself, I love them to pieces, but I have found that my animals do not like to throw up or defecate on anything but carpet. I don't know why, but that's what they do. So when you are cleaning this up or when you are walking in a house, this is another reason why closed-toe shoes are extremely important. With pet care, the one other thing that I want to bring up, it doesn't have anything to do with infection control, but it is the fact that animals feel what's happening with the people that they're at. So if your client is starting to have more people coming into the house, their health is declining, they're going to be agitated. So please don't just assume that the dog or the cat is friendly. Take that time to kind of read the body language and talk to the client. Your work wardrobe, it's a good idea now that we all have age-at-home bags. Woohoo! Thank you, Laurel. To have a separate pair of clothing in there. That way, if you happen to spill something on a t-shirt, you can change before you go to your next client. It's just a good idea. And again, with shoes, you want to make sure that you have a set of shoes in that bag. So if it's raining outside, you're not tracking all through the house or in a position where you have to be in your stocking feet. Closed-toe shoes, clean pants, no leggings work. No pajama bottoms. Scrubs are not allowed. We are a non-medical agency. With your jewelry and your nails, please take a moment to make sure that your nails are not sharp, that they are taken care of. Again, as people get older, their skin thins. It's really easy to cause a skin tear if you're moving somebody or if you're touching them by accident. Nail polish has a lot of toxicity to it, and if that gets into one of those cuts, they can get sick from that. Your cell phone should be on you at all times because emergencies rarely happen right next to the phone. However, texting during your shift should be kept down to a minimum or when you're taking a break. But make sure that you wipe your phone down with a safe wipe. Don't touch your phone when you're wearing gloves. Don't allow other people to use your phone or wipe it down afterwards if you need to. And also wipe down your name badge with a disinfecting wipe. Your hair, if you have longer hair, it needs to be up and away from your face. And if you have facial hair, it needs to be neatly trimmed and well maintained. Okay, so you have just completed your first video. Congratulations. Please take a minute now to go to the ERSP and complete the quiz. Thank you.